I've been through the rain and I weathered the storm, I'm not looking to stop. My God sent the angels, I'm good when I move like I move with the mob. Tears in the valley, this life is a jungle, I pray to the top. Life is a marathon, I'm running to them, I'm shaking off weights and I'm done with the fear.
This is for the kingdom builders, the entrepreneurs who are called to make an impact bigger than just money alone. The ones who are overcoming trials and turning past failures into future success stories. It's for the bold who refuse to let fear overcome faith. This is Impact Kingdom. All right, guys, welcome back to the Impact Kingdom podcast. We are on episode number 2, and today what I want to talk about is something that's very dear to me. It's been a passion of mine, and it's fitness, it's health, and it's how we kind of show up as a leader in our business with our body itself, right? Using that as an image. And so this is not really a topic, like a vague topic where it's like you should have a six-pack abs and you should be chiseled and all those things year round, because that's not really the point of it. That's not what I mean by like how we look. And one verse that gets taken out of context a lot, which is 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20. It's the one where it says, "Or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God," right? "You are not your own, for you were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body." And so this one in the fitness world gets taken out of context a lot, because you look at that and they say that means that your body is a temple, what you eat, what you drink, all those different things matter. But really what Paul was talking about there was more so about sexual immorality, right? So he was talking more about not being a part of the world, not doing things that they do. And a lot of it was more so about with the flesh and sexual immorality. So that verse is taken out of context, but I still think even out of context, it has a place and it has a purpose when it comes to the other things of how we treat our body when it comes to the flesh. And so the reason why, it matters is because how you do anything ends up being how you do everything for the most part. And there's, and I'll give you kind of a story from me when I was back in the gym that I owned. There were, I think it was like, we had a 5 a.m. class, so I was there to open up the gym at 4:30 a.m. And the last class got done at 8 p.m. And so 8 p.m., you're closing down the gym, you're mopping the floors, it's a group training facility, and there's a lot of work to close out, and plus you still have admin activities, because I'm running the business. And so really you're going from, you've got to be there by 4:30, I think I was leaving at like 4 a.m., sometimes earlier, and not leaving that place until 9 p.m. and then having to drive back to where I was supposed to go after that. And I thought that was the life. I thought I had to do it. Or I thought I had to duck my head, I had to grind. I was probably eating maybe 1 or 2 meals per day some days during that time. I was not actually training, which is funny because I own a gym. And I'll never forget when I was driving to my parents' house to pick up my daughters, and I drifted off, right? I drifted asleep. Now, luckily, I woke right back up, right, in time to kind of catch the car and just, get back on the road. But I truly drifted asleep. And this is what I'm talking about, where it's not just about how you look when it comes to your fitness and your health. It's how you feel. It's your health, right? It's how are you functioning as a leader within your business. And so if you're driving yourself into the ground, things like that happens, right? And then sometimes you get a wake-up call. Sometimes you don't, right? Sometimes you ignore it for years after years after years. I'll never forget talking with someone who ended up having a heart attack when they were, I think, 55 to 60, just because of stress. And so that's where I'm getting at with this message here of like your fitness, your health, all those things are so important, especially as a Christian business owner, right? Because you have an impact that's bigger than yourself. You have people that are relying on you. You have customers that are relying on you. You have so many things at stake, and it relies on you showing up to the best ability. And so I want to give you 3 things that you can take away here of why you should really consider making fitness and health a priority in your life, right? A big priority. When I say priority, I mean priority, right? Like it matters. It does not get missed. It's just as important as running your payroll, or just as important as paying your taxes, right? It's priority. And the reason being, number 1, is because discipline is the foundation for success in the marketplace, right? And discipline is just consistency. That's all it is, right? Discipline is not being perfect. Discipline is being consistent over time, right? It's like if you're going to train, if you're going to exercise, and maybe you only exercise 3 times per week, and that's what you do. But if you do that 3 times per week for the next year straight, That's discipline, and it's consistency. And it's the same thing, right? It's the foundation of if you can have that consistency in your health and your fitness, you can have that consistency in your business, you can have that consistency in how you show up as a leader. And I promise you, that's where success comes. The last 3 years, it's no coincidence that it's been the most growth I've ever had in business and entrepreneurship. And in the last 3 years, I've been extremely disciplined when it comes to bodybuilding and my fitness and health. So those things are correlated. So that's number one. Number two is we tend to first self-sabotage with our bodies itself, right? And so what I mean by that is that, let's just say that you have a big deal that goes through, right? You have a big win in the business. What do you want to do? You want to go celebrate. Maybe it's going to go have drinks. Maybe it's going to party, right? Maybe you're going to eat a little bit too much, right? All these things we self-sabotage ourselves, and we usually do it with our body, right? We do it with what we drink and what we eat, right? Sometimes we self-medicate. All those things will happen. And so whether it's a big win in the business or a big loss, what do? We self-medicate. We self-medicate with food. We self-medicate with drugs, with alcohol, right? All those things will happen, especially as a high-stress entrepreneur where you're dealing with a high-stress environment. And so if we know that, the better we can take care of our body and the harder we can train, right? Force it to do something uncomfortable every single day, the better we can deal with that stress. And then we tend to not self-sabotage when we hit moments of stress within the business, okay? And so number three that I want to leave you with here is also that leadership does start with the view. And so what I mean by that is how you look does matter. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, it's a little bit controversial, but like it is true. I can't tell you the amount of people in my business that I lead that have started working out, that have gotten standing desk, that have gotten walking treadmills. It's kind of a running joke now where it's like everyone hops in a meeting and everyone's on a walking treadmill. Why is that? Right? It's because they see their leader do it, right? They see that's how I show up, so that's how they know they need to show up. And so when they see you and they see that maybe you don't take care of your health, that you're out of shape, right? That you don't really value, making sure that fitness is a priority during the day, right? When you're not drinking your water, right? All those different things. When they see that, that sets the standard. And that standard will bleed over into everything else in your business. But when they see the opposite of that, and they see how important it is for you and how you show up and how you take care of your body and how you take care of your health, that standard gets set and that carries over into the rest of how they act in the business as well. And so it's really important, guys, that we do this, we take it serious and we prioritize it, which is why it's such a big thing for me. It's such a big priority point for me. Just as important as for me to go to church and just as important as me to take the Sabbath day, it's just as important to make sure that the fitness is a priority as well. Okay, so that's episode number 2, guys. Thank you for tuning in. As always, subscribe if you can. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and like it. If you're on the podcast, you can save it, you can download it. Make sure that you save it so that you get notified for the next one. And then I would love to meet you. I'd love to talk to you. So drop a comment, share a message, whatever you can do. I would love to interact with you as well and just understand where you are in your journey and see if there's anything I can do to help as well. All right, guys, with that being said, I'll see you on the next one.